Now, at this point, you've finished your presentation. You've gone through the whole presentation and the customer is saying, show me, right? Show me the product. So you have to show them. Now it's time to the demo phase. Now this is very important because a presentation is one thing. It's kind of showing what you can and cannot do, but now you're in the the demo phase. So now you're going to show them through some type of demo. Now, when you have a product or service, you have to find a way in order to be able to demonstrate to them that you can do what you said you can do, how you can solve some of their problems. Now, when you're doing a demo, there are 4 things to actually keep in mind. The first one is live. If you can do a live demo right there and then, those are the most powerful demos. So you have to understand, we believe what we see, and if we can see right in front of us, all the better. So again, if your presentation can incorporate some type of live demo, then do it, do it, do it. Now, if you cannot, there are other options. Let's go to the second one, which is a how-to. You can say, Mrs. Customer, here is how it's gonna work. And you walk them through the steps on how it's gonna work. You're gonna do what we call a how-to. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, then you're gonna do those, then you're gonna incorporate that, and then you're gonna do that, Mrs. Customer. Do you see how that's gonna work? That's a sort of a how-to. Not like a live demo, not as powerful as a live demo, but in that situation, it can be done very effectively and very convincingly. The next thing is during the how-to process or the live demo, but specifically on the how-to process, since you don't have a live demo, use visuals. Use visuals, whether it's pictures, images, videos. Use something that can prove your point. As you are doing the how-to or even the live demo, remember you are always trying to say this is how it's going to be able to solve your problems. As you are showing them visuals, guess what? They will be able to remember those more. See, people remember data up to a certain point. Some people will forget 70% to 75% of those data within 24 hours. Most people, once again, will forget 70 to 75% of data within 24 hours. But by using visual, it becomes more tangible. It sticks more. That is what you want. You want it to stick, so you have to use visuals. And what's the worst case scenario if you don't have any visuals? Then you're going to use what we call analogies. People love analogies. Analogies tend to break down the most complicated subjects to something very simple and understandable. Early on, I used an analogy with you. When I talked about the sales process, the analogy I used was comparing it to baking a cake. Right? So using a recipe, that was my analogy for you to be able to kind of see things differently. It allows you to be able to learn how to create the sales process by using an analogy, such as using a recipe for baking a cake. So again, let's recap on this. Doing a live demo is really the best way to be able to prove to your customer. It's the specific proof to them that you can do what you say you're going to do, what your product can do to solve the problems, right? And if you have a service, it might be tougher to show. So you may want to be able to move into the how-to phase. And during the how-to phase again, show them some information, some data, show them some testimonials, some case studies, some white papers, not as powerful as videos or live, but it actually works if that's all that you got. But then again, if we can use visuals and incorporate some type of visual into our presentation, into our demonstration, right? This allows us to be able to show you guys what the company is all about. So this is something you definitely need to be able to look at. And then moving on, if you can't do a live, if you can't do a how-to, if you can't use visuals, then you should start using analogies. This is important when you are in your demonstration phase of trying to get the person to see how your company, how your product, how your services can actually solve the problems that they're facing. People are more likely going to switch over or use your services or your products if they see that you can solve a certain pain point. People will move away from pain more than try to go into pleasure. So I want you guys to be able to think about that. Think about that. What you're doing here is you are increasing the pain points, saying, hey, if this is where you are at this very moment, these are the pain points that you're facing. I want to show you through a live demonstration, through some how-to visuals, through some analogies, how I can move you away from the pain, because my product, my services can solve those and take you to the pleasure point, or saying that this is the promised land, that this is what it's going to look like if you start using our services. So I want you guys to start thinking about what you can do to create some live demo presentations, whether you're doing it on a face-to-face or whether you're using a GoToMeeting where you can share some screens, okay? If you're using visuals, can you put it in video? Can you create a presentation template, a presentation PowerPoint, a presentation page that is using some photos, some screenshots if you have a software, for example. What can you do at this very moment to be able to create live demonstrations, visual demonstrations, how-to demonstrations, or using analogies within your demonstration for your particular product and your services? Take 15 to 20 minutes, brainstorm by yourself or bring in the team in. Take the 15 to 20 minutes, get that notepad, that piece of paper, start writing things down, some ideas, and then move on to the next video.